Hi guys, it's Lana, and as you know, this is the Second Breakfast Club. So really quickly, I want to do an introduction to this series I'm about to do with my dad. I'm going to slap this at the beginning of every video in the series, so if you've already seen it, feel free to skip ahead. If not, please listen, just to help kind of clarify what we're going to be doing here. So as a lot of you know, Bangtan universe is basically solved at this point. There are webtoons coming out, there's novels coming out. The purpose of this series is not to solve the story. I'm not going to be telling my dad anything that won't help understand basic symbolisms. Like I'll tell him what the Demian book is when we get into the Wings short films because that's, you know, important. But I'm not going into deep theories. He's probably not going to get deep into every individual character or anything. I just wanted to see what this story looks like to fresh eyes, like eyes that have really never followed BTS or studied BTS, eyes that know mostly like literary symbolism and artistic composition, and just get his fresh, honest take on this. So with that in mind, I just want to make sure that when you leave comments or talk about this video that you consider what the actual goal is. I know in the past when we've done similar things, we've gotten feedback like, oh, you didn't talk about this book or you didn't talk about this thing. That's not the point here. The point is just fresh eyes. So don't go into this expecting anything intense. If you want more in-depth stuff, you can watch my actual theory videos. Although again, it's pretty much solved at this point, which is why I'm still unsure if we're even going to do the highlight reels and beyond, because that's on the webtoon. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this series, and I hope that it gives you a fresh perspective on things. It certainly was nice for me to go back and experiencing things for the first time almost again. It's really lovely. So enjoy and have fun. It's that time. I'm gonna make the man watch Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
And remember, I'm an old guy. To me, Blood, Sweat, and Tears was an old rock group.
Yes.
I had their cassette a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There have been a few songs named this. There have been a few groups named this. But this is my Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
Yes.
This is what I'm going to be like. When I was young, I had the Blood, Sweat, and Tears song on CD. Yeah.
I actually had it on 8 tracks, so.
So, this is also kind of an auspicious moment for our channel, because the very first video Ashlen and I uploaded together was Spring Day, which is the music video that came after Blood, Sweat, and Tears. So by reacting to this with you, I feel like we get to watch something that I really love that we never got to react to on the channel, because Ashlen and I started making... This is the video that got Ashlen and I so into this group that we started the channel. Mm-hmm. So you guys saw Spring Day, but you never saw Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Because of his nature, I have warned him about the crotch grabs. I know most of you
won't be impressed with that.
Yes. But yeah, this video is very interesting. I think, yeah, once again, because we're focusing on theory and story, I don't have the lyrics on purpose. In the future, we might have him react to the lyrics because, again, they're pretty separate. But I want him to be able to pay attention to the video. So it is an intentional choice. I didn't forget how to use closed captioning or, you know.
So if I'm completely off, it's not my fault.
Oh, no, you're fine. Again, the songs can be read into the story, but they're also incredibly separate.
Okay.
You know. The songs were made to be songs and to play on the radio, and they work well with this, but it's not necessary to read the words to come up with a theory story that makes sense.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
You're going to stumble onto everything they're saying in the song just by watching the symbolism.
Okay.
So I'm talking too much because I really love this. As I told him, this is one of the songs I can sing 100% fine in Korean because I love this song so much, which is going to make him judge me when the song starts, but I do really like this. This is what got me into theorizing. This is the short films. So, 3, 2, 1, go. I think Dad's going to judge me a lot after seeing this video, to be honest.
Hopefully I won't disown you.
No. They've all changed their hair, so it might be hard to know who's who now. You'll get it, though.
And definitely not Korean art.
No.
It's Greek Roman.
Yeah. There's actually a lot of famous pieces here.
Yeah.
Chocolate cheeks and chocolate wings, but 너의 날개는 악마의 걸. 너의 그 sweet 앞은 비려비려. Kiss me, 아파도 돼, 어서 날 조여줘. 더 이상 아플 수도 없게. Baby, 뒤에도 돼, 이제 널 들이켜. Whiskey, 너 whiskey. 내 피땀을, 내 마지막 춤을 다 가져가. 내 피땀을. 내 차가운 숨을 다 가져가. Money, money, money. Money, money. Money, money, money. Money, money.
Close your eyes.
Money, money, money. Money, money. Money, money, money. Money, 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 money. 아파도 돼, 난 묶어줘. 내가 도망칠 수 없게. 꽉 쥐고 나 흔들어줘. 내가 정신 못 차리게. Kiss me on the lips, 수많은 너는 감옥에 중독되게. 네가 아닌 다른 사람 선비지 note. 알면서도 삼켜버린 독이들. 피땀 눈물, 내 마지막 춤을 다 가져가. 내 피땀 눈물, 내 차가운 숨을 다 가져가. Money, money, money. Money, money. Money, money, money. Money, 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 money. Money, money, money. Money, money. Money, money, money. Money, 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 money. 손으로 죽여줘. 너의 손길만을 감겨줘. 어차피 거부할 수조차 없어. 더는 거부할 수조차 없어. 또 네가 너무 달콤해, 너무 달콤해, 너무 달콤해서. He too was a tempter. He too was a link to the sun. The evil world with which I no longer wanted to have anything to do.
When a short film just pops in the middle of a music video.
Is that supposed to be Abraxas?
No. Abraxas is like half rooster.
Well, it had wings on it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I think. after. Well, I mean, you're gonna actually get an answer real quick.
내 피땀을
There you go.
Okay.
Told you blood, sweat, and tears gets weird.
But it's cohesive.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Explain.
Which version?
Explain.
Okay. I could interpret it 2 or 3 different ways using the same symbolism.
Absolutely, you can.
Okay. The one I think that starts out with, if I understand the word money.
Money, money, money. More, more, more.
Right.
Or I
Excess.
like you a lot, basically. It is, the
It
song is
basically-
very much about obsession, temptation. Yeah. The song itself, I'm saying. To help you.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, it's not money.
Okay, because it sounded like it.
Yes, every single person, the first time they hit us going, money? It's money. Yeah.
Okay. But basically, it's
idea.
based on excess. First, they look at all these wonderful things, this artistic things. And at first, I was thinking it would be a different tone,
Yes.
different thing. But where basically they were thriving in excess. And it's looking really good at first, and then it turns out that their excess and the fact that they have this excess is their own prison.
Mm-hmm.
That they are in prison. Basically, they're basically like the fallen angel,
Mm-hmm.
that the wings are clipped, and so it had the capability of doing great things, but because of all this excess and all this ease and all this luxury, that they've lost their true meaning, their true purpose.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of archaic, breaking, falling apart.
Yeah.
That's kind of one kind of scenario.
I think that's absolutely the scenario behind the song. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's very valid. Yes.
That's valid. Another way I could have looked at it is quite different.
Yeah. Give us all the ways to look at it.
Well, one is artistically.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at the blood, sweat, and tears it took to make this art,
Mm-hmm.
and how much effort it took, and how much it's taken for granted now. You know, you see this beautiful statue, oh, that's pretty, instead of thinking, oh, all the work and the blood, sweat, and tears that went into creating each of these things that they are now taking for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And how, over time, what they're doing is destroying that art instead of creating it. And they've become part of that art that is now becoming corrupted and being broken.
Very cool.
Okay? It's
Yeah.
another way of looking at it.
Yes. So now, do you have other ways as well? I don't want to interrupt your trains of thought.
Another one was having to do with superficiality.
Mm-hmm.
Everything looking like porcelain. Everything looking like it's so wonderful that everything is so fragile. And loving things that are of really no real value. And with the eyes covered, I don't want to know, I don't want to realize how worthless I truly am compared to all of this effort that went in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to just bask in believing that I'm worthy of all of this stuff that I didn't create.
Yeah.
got another way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, which one do you think is the most valuable?
Well, now I'm going to give you a challenge.
Okay.
So this is technically a continuation of the short films that we just watched.
I recognize the bird symbol.
Yes, and the apple, and the yes. So my challenge for you, and which is genuinely difficult, you just watched this for the first time. If you'd watched this 10 times, it'd be a little easier. Is to put this in the story that we've seen in the short films. And to do that, I'm going to give you some information so you know who's who. Right. So the guy who stabbed his dad is the fallen angel who had the wing cuts and also who covered Jin's eyes to reveal the dark angel. Same guy. Guy under the sheet. Yes. And the one who's looking at the art and continually looking to camera, the one who seems like something's wrong, that's Jin, the one from the last short film, the one who you said you feel. And
the one on the swing that was suspended.
The one on the swing is the guy who got hit by the car, the youngest.
With the kind of the death throw on it.
So, putting some of those things into context, does that change any interpretation? Again, it doesn't have to, and it could also be, I just watched it once.
Who were the two that were in the room isolated from all the art, who were isolated in their own little room and can only see it through the mirrors and the floor?
The one with
the windows
the blindfold and apple, or the ones in the smoke room?
The room above the art.
Yeah.
Who could only look down at the art that were in this basically
like the
bare
blue room. Yeah. So those two are the one with the alcohol problem is the one who blindfolds the guy in the tub, the one with the depression, the lie guy. Yeah. So the one with lie was the one who was attached to the door by his blindfold.
Okay. Tied to it.
Yes.
Okay. The guy with the lollipop, where was he in this one?
RM, he was in the room with the bird. He's the one who drank the green liquid. And he's the one who like blew smoke out of his mouth and was stuck in the room with the smoke. And realized that he was cracked? No, that was Jin.
That was Jin.
The one who kissed the angel, the dark angel.
Okay, who was cracking just like a statue.
Yes. Which is why everything you said before, like outside of the story, superficiality and stuff, I think every BTS music video has a meaning as a standalone project and they can fit in the story. I think you hit right on the nail, the meaning of the standalone project.
Okay.
Because this is about, the way they've described it is being about like temptation and obsession and superficiality. You know, like you hit that right on.
Okay.
Which is how I think that's one interpretation of the guy turning into a cracked statue, right? He's become the art, like you're saying. Yeah, I think it might be a little difficult to fully fit it into the story after one viewing.
Right. Well, a lot of the symbols were there.
Yes.
But exactly how to fit them in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I mean, just because they're shown that way, I think it's cohesive in they're all living that lie. They're all living that superficial lie.
Yes.
They're all living that we are the art also.
Yes.
But we're also being put in this extremely luxurious lifestyle, which is really kind of a prison.
Yeah.
And kind of a lie.
So it kind of fits back with all the themes you've been talking about in being trapped. Things aren't what they look like. Things that are lies. Things that are beautiful on the outside can be crumbling on the inside. Like everything you've talked about before.
And that wild kind of lifestyle that really isn't helpful to anyone else.
Yeah.
Now, who's the one in the silk sheet coming through?
That was V, the one with the angel wings on his back. The cuts on his back, and the one who killed his dad.
What does the silk sheet that he's going through symbolize?
I mean, it's art. It's up for debate. Personally, I see it almost like a cocoon. Like coming out. Oh, well, I mean, do you...
Like he could come out and he was almost the butterfly but lost its wings.
That's definitely an interpretation, yeah. In terms of thinking of story, it could just thinking off the top of my head, it could also be a reveal of true nature, being a fallen angel. Like, do you want me to talk about, like, get down into my...
Well, you were challenging me. I was trying to figure out exactly what you want.
Which is what
now.
I want you to keep doing. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, do you have other questions? What did you think of the...
Why green?
I can answer that in terms of what I think. I think green is the color of V's influence on people.
Okay.
That's my personal
Because
opinion.
there's green coming out of their dripping, but there's also green smoke.
Yes. And that same color green, which only people obsessive like me will notice, is dyed into V's hair in Run.
Okay.
So my personal belief is it's... I want to get through your questions before I taint your thoughts.
And there were several of them who were actually leaving that
Yes.
place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they were successfully walking away.
Yes.
And saying, that's fine to look at, but I'm not taking it serious. But one was kind of hanging back.
Yes.
And hard to pull away.
Yeah.
Who was being hard to pull away?
That's the one from the last short film. That's
Mm-hmm.
Jin,
Okay.
who feels responsible for the rest of the group. You were
And
saying.
that's why he was looking at it saying, is this really what we should be looking at being part of?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. He's the one who keeps breaking the fourth wall. If someone's making eye contact with you through the screen,
Mm-hmm.
it's Jin.
Okay.
What did you think of the quote from the book in the middle?
Trying to remember which quote
He
it was.
said, he too was a tempter, he too was a link to the second, the evil world with which I no longer wanted to have anything to do.
Yeah.
That's how much I've watched this video.
No, I didn't recall that one.
Yeah, when he's holding the balloon, right before the short film started.
Okay.
I mean, I think it links to what you're saying too, and like leaving behind a destructive life, right? The evil
Well,
world.
the temptation is the beauty and the luxury of this world that's fake.
Yes.
And that's an illusion. And that if they stay there long enough, they become the statues. They become the art.
Yeah.
And they become fake.
Yeah. I think it's when I say valid, that's not like downplaying it. That's definitely an interpretation of this that works.
Okay.
I've actually always been a fan of the them as art theory that has kind of gone around because there's some very famous pieces in this video.
Oh yeah.
Especially the Madonna. The Madonna is used a lot, which makes sense. Yeah. Any other questions?
No.
All right, cool. So...
But it's not like the blood, sweat, and tears I was raised with.
Nothing at all. I was about to give you some of my theories, but I actually think if I do that at all, it's going to be at the very end. Because I still have one more video I want to show
and you don't want to taint me too much.
Yeah, I don't want you to interpret, especially the next video, through the eyes of my theory. So, yeah. So what we're actually going to do next is, and to kind of end this, is I'm going to show him the trailer for the Wings tour, which is something that they put out right before they went on tour. And a lot of people I found haven't seen it or didn't watch it. Because when I used clips of it in my theory, constantly people were like, what's that from? What's that from? So, it doesn't add a ton to the theory, but I think it's important. So we're going to react to that, and it's going to be kind of the end of our theory exploration. If you guys really insist, we will do the highlight reels, but as I've said before, the Love Yourself era story it's all webtoon now. Like, there's nothing really to figure out anymore. And it's very linear and very much a story. It's not really a big interpretation thing.
So they've defined it so much that sometimes, like you say, when you define it so much, you start losing people.
Yeah, well,
because they're not as emotionally connected with it.
Yeah, to speak frankly for a minute, and I hope nobody feels bad or takes offense to this, I think my theory about the process of this was that they made the HYYH story. It got very popular, so they expanded it into Wings. and they changed it a good deal. And then it stayed really popular, and a lot of people were making theories, and they kind of wanted to move on from this story. They didn't want to make the whole rest of their careers about this one story. So they did the Love Yourself era and made it so clear that nobody would be mad if they moved on to something else because they didn't explain the story.
Okay.
So it is, to me, very good. And there is, like Euphoria, I think, is a very interpretable video. But if you watch it in order, I mean, I could be wrong. Correct me if you felt differently. I think it's really hard to watch Euphoria and not think just of story if you've seen the highlight reels. Because that's where they're literally going, okay, we're going to lay this entire story out on the line as like a book for you. I mean, in fact, novels are coming out. They've already talked about them. So, again, we can do them, but I think it's hard to artistically interpret a lot of the Love Yourself era stuff. And since we're not trying to make one huge theory out of this, I personally don't see a huge point in it. It hasn't lost me. I completely see why they progressed the way they did. But as someone who likes the surreal and the mysterious, it's been a little weird for me to, have answers. I never really wanted answers, but I know most people did, and also, I definitely don't think, with as popular as the story got, that they could just drop the story and without laying it all out on the line for people, or people are just going to be lumping every video they do for the rest of their careers into the story, whether it applies or not.
Yeah.
So yeah, not bashing, they haven't lost me, but I am kind of sad. Which is why I haven't delved into the webtoons a lot, because I liked my nonsense theory, and the fact that it's not going to make sense makes me sad.
We like being right.
No, I don't. It's not even about being right. I think for me, I miss there being 1,000 interpretations for something instead of a canon. And honestly, if they're really smart with what we know of the future story, I genuinely think they should say, well, this, like Clue, well, it could have happened this way.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of ways to do this. But, yes. Also, Wings Era, I think, is really underappreciated, and I think they dropped a lot of it for the highlight reels because it complicates things a lot. I could be wrong. The webtoons might answer all of it, but I want to promote the Wings Era. I think it's cool enough that I want more people to remember it. So, all of that's a big mess. This video is already super long, and y'all came here for reaction, not to hear me ramble about theory. But yeah, we're going to do the tour video, and then have a little wrap-up talk, and then, I don't know, we'll do something. Maybe I'll force you to watch my theory video. But at the very least, we'll have a little talk, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this journey with us. So until next time.
Live long and prosper.
Also, like, comment, and subscribe to us both.
Bye.
Bye.